Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakodash, and giving double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. And this is a article from zerohedge.com. And this is definitely a sign, a token of a decline of a kingdom. Okay. And your ability to reproduce your offspring, for you to be able to repopulate a kingdom or a population. All right. The Most High has to bless you at the end of the day. And back in the days, in maybe the 40s, the 50s, the 20s, Edom, the so-called white race, had a family of 3, 4, 5. All right. And you see the decline of a nation through everything, through its birth rate, the nuclear family. All right. Because this stuff is important. How people's ideologies and theologies, what they believe in, it's important to the upholding of a society. And the poison that has been spread in Babylon has poisoned the minds of the young women, the young men, and it's causing havoc. And the Lord is doing a beautiful work because he's destroying it from all facets of life. All right. The American people are stupider, fatter. They're dumbed down. They're homos, freaks, weirdos, drug addicts, porn addicts, abortion getting women. So America's finished. Okay. America is finished and it's done. All right. There's no more moral standard here in America. It's being out the window. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Matter of fact, because you got men. Let me get this right quick first. Okay, 2 Timothy 3:1. Okay. This know also that in the last times perilous times shall come. I'm gonna read this in NLT. It says, you should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be difficult times. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. And what is sacred? Marriage. All right. No one wants to. You see these women that through this philosophy of America, they're saying, oh, get your career first. And look, the average age of U.S. women giving birth increases to nearly 30. And when a woman is 30, she's not in her youth. That is not her youth. All right. My grandmother, she started having children when she was 15, 14 years old. And back in the days, that's how it usually was. My wife, mother, had her first child at 15. Okay. So here it is now, maybe 50 years later, 40 years later. These women have been, their minds have been poisoned, polluted. Okay. And which a woman has her place in society, but she's been given power to kill little children, to abort them. So even if a man wants this child, he has no power, no jurisdiction over her body, because the so-called white man allows this to happen. The average age of women giving birth in the United States is now close to 30 years, with the percentage of first births falling among young females. And this is from the CDC. The mean age at birth for all mothers increased from 28.7 in 2016 to 29 in 2023. And it's going up. Okay, to the point where people are going to, and we only got a little bit of time left here in Babylon anyway. But this is definitely a sign that this place is out of here. All right, I'm going to pull some information. This is basic stuff off the internet, man. Okay, I put in the average age of a woman having a child in the ancient world. It says in the ancient world, the average age for women having their first child was generally in their late teens or early 20s. Okay. So in the ancient world, women were teenagers when they had their first child. Okay. Now, I'm going to get this. This is from the National Library of Medicine. It says evidence, hints, and assumptions for late pregnancy in the ancient Mediterranean and Near East. Okay, so here you go. It says ancient women who survived childhood mortality received good and adequate nutrition, did not work hard, and escaped death during childbirth could live fairly long lives. Girls started procreation after marriage, usually at 15 years. 15 years old. Had on average 7 children. Childbearing lasted 14 to 21 or more years. Okay? I'm going to read down. It says, sacred books, narratives, and myths suggest the possibility of late childbearing in the Mediterranean and Near Eastern ancient world, particularly for the Jews. Okay? We didn't have late births. All right? Because once a woman passed the flower of her age, she was marriageable. All right? And all these scholars, they know this. All right? It's only black people, I'm going to say black people, who don't understand the ways of the East in the ancient world, in which it only makes sense for a person in their strength to start childbearing. Because when you're when a woman is 17, 16, 18, 19, okay, she's in her youth. Okay, when a man is young and strong, we didn't, in the ancient world, we didn't start marriages and we didn't start childbearing late. We didn't do that. That's not an Israelite custom. That's a heathen custom. Now, in the ancient world, yeah, you did have Noah and his his forefathers before him, and they lived till they was 900, some of them 700, but they had children. When you read the lineage of those men, some of them had children later on in life. Some of them had children when they was 35, but they or when they was 70 or 80, but they lived hundreds of years old. So that was really young compared to we didn't age the same back then. A 35-year-old Noah, he was in his strength. His life barely even begun yet. If you live 900 years, matter of fact, let's get that. See? And Lamech, see that? And Lamech lived after he begot Noah 595 years after he begat Noah. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years. And Noah was 500 years old. But NLT, by the time Noah was 500 years old, he was the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. You know, I think one of them had children when they was 35. I can't remember, but you get the point. All right. So these men live hundreds of years old. You know? But anyways, and you, for you dudes that have a problem with us getting women younger over here in America, you're gonna have to deal with it, because in Jacob's trouble, check this out. 2 Ezra 16:32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. Why? Because of Jacob's trouble. The virgins, which are young women of marriageable age, shall mourn. Why? Having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So there's going to be a lot of younger women that in Isaiah 4:1 brothers are going to get. Isaiah 4:1, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Okay, for the sake of bearing and bringing back children in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, whomever the Lord see fit for brothers to have. Okay, and it might be a woman of marriageable age, most likely. Younger women, okay, teenagers, 15, 16-year-olds. Okay, that could possibly happen. Okay, women usually started having children in the ancient world at that age. 15 years old, 16 years old, some even 14 years old. Okay, that everybody knows that. That happened in the ancient world. Okay, now we don't promote that over here in America, Babylon the Great. But we're just telling you that is something that happened. Okay, but America is cursed. Okay, and so-called white people are dying off. They're not able to bring their own race back. Go check out the numbers on that. I like to bring that out every once in a while. About the birth rates of these so-called white people. Okay, but with that, Lord willing, was edifying. Shalom.